Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at the '04 Pontiac Sunfire. Now this car we picked up pretty cheap because it is horribly cosmetically damaged, and it ran and drive okay when we first got it. And there's a few things we had to fix. But what I'm going over with now is some of the mods I did. Now, some of these mods I did because honestly I got bored and wanted to experiment some different things. The other mods was to legitimately help some of the problems it was having. Now, these mods I'm going to show you are actually under the bumper here. And you notice a few different things on it. Now, this transmission was getting a little bit warm, and it's very common on a lot of General Motors, or any transmission. Dodge had a lot of problems with it, and Ford and Chevrolet, all them. Transmission gets too hot, doesn't work properly. So what we did was added this transmission cooler here. And all we did was we took the return line from the radiator that runs back to the transmission after it runs through the radiator to get cooled off. Put an elbow on it and then ran the line up there to the fluid cooler. That's with some of the new parts in the kit. And then it runs through here, and then now it returns to transmission here from that line. Now what that does is the radiator does slightly cool the transmission fluid off, but in my opinion not enough on the Sunfire, because the electric fans hardly ever come on, and when you're sitting still in traffic it's not cooling it down enough, honestly, because there's no airflow going through the radiator at that point. So I added this cooler to keep it cooler, and it helped. Now once it started getting up to 100 plus degrees out here, it wasn't really helping as much. So what we did was add this auxiliary fan here to help push some more air through. And you can see I have it set over here, I have it right there, but I did a dual purpose on this one, because not only when you sit at a light there is no airflow, well, AC was getting a little warm too. So I did this for both the AC and the radiator. And it's a smaller auxiliary fan. I think it pushes about 1200 CFM, which is not a lot, but it does help a little bit. The AC is running cooler when you're sitting still, even all the way up to 30 miles an hour. Because realistically, you need a fan below 30 miles an hour to keep everything properly cool. Now after 30 miles an hour, there's usually enough air going through to actually keep everything cool. But lower speeds, and definitely at dead stop in traffic, you need a little more airflow. Now another problem with the Sunfire was when you sit in traffic too long, it start reaching over 195, especially in the heat of summer. And I didn't like that, because I believe these electric fans kick on about 230, and that's just too hot. By then it's too late in my opinion, so adding that really helped. Now some of the odd mods I added just for fun is over here. I had this aluminum plate to deflect some of the air into the radiator, because at first this thing was just open back there with a louvered plastic little panel that I guess didn't allow debris up in that general direction, but there's nothing over in that general direction that really needs air anyway. So just for shiggles I added that deflector, and going down the highway I'm not sure honestly if it really helped or not, but the gauge is actually sitting a little bit below 195. I'm not sure if it really helped or not, but I like to think it did. But it's not a bad idea. Nothing to take to heart though. Same thing over here. I had another one. I took the plastic louver out, because to get to our air intake, you go through there. And it opens up behind the headlight, but that's pretty well sealed for the most part. and air kind of has a problem getting through that way, so most of the air comes through here. So I figured I'd make this little deflector to kind of help fresh air go up that way. Not sure if it helped. Like I said, I was bored and experimenting, seeing if things would help. Another thing I did was the air dam is, honestly, when you're going down the highway, an air dam is in theory supposed to keep some of the wind from coming up under the car and creating lift, which can affect drag and performance and fuel mileage. And the stock air dam came to right about here. That's not really anything. I think it was just, they called it an air dam, but it's probably just to kind of hide some of the nasty things that you could see. So what I did was I took a thick rubber skirt, it's about 1/4 inch thick, it's pretty solid, and added it under there to make it a little bit lower where it would help with that. The reason I used like a rubber skirting was because if anything was hit, it would actually move a little bit so it wouldn't damage anything. Again, I'm not sure if it helped, but if it did, it is probably only so little, it's almost unnoticeable. But again, I got bored, and honestly, it don't look that bad. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Watch out for more content.